MaJaMa Jams is brought to you by
The destructive nature of fire.
More Godzilla movies. I've been begging you guys to do Godzilla raids again. I still want to do Godzilla versus Kong. And what about, speaking of Kong, King Kong escapes again? We got to do more fucking kaiju flicks, man. I'm telling you, that is the pinnacle of cinema. A giant fucking monster stomping through, breaking stuff. We got to do more Godzillas. Have we even done one Godzilla on the show yet? I mean, think about it. We got Mateo. You got to track down fucking Godzilla versus Biollante. I know it's hard to find, but you're like the fucking DVD master. Look at this goddamn place. There's DVDs everywhere. And you don't have Godzilla versus Biollante? It'd be a great one for it. There's the Smog Monster. What's the one where that fucking
Like jigsaw puzzle for you. 500 pieces. All for you.
a lion?
I'll take care of
And
it.
the final piece. Finito. So anyway, that was fun. Listen, here's what I'm thinking. 37 weeks in a row of Godzilla. We changed the show to Godzilla Jams. We go through every one we do. Because let me tell you.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
God damn it! Why hasn't anybody responded to my demands yet?
The only demand is that you turn yourself in, punk.
It's Space Cop! Big glob! It's Space Cop!
Vinegar.
Opening, everything else. Opening, everything else. Opening, everything else. Opening, everything else. Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. Now, speaking about avoiding our work, there was no better way to avoid said work than on flicking on one of our favorite internet shows that was brought to me by Matthew Ellsworth here, or maybe this one, but either way, I was the last one to the party. It is three middle-aged white men sitting around on a couch who actually aren't languishing in obscurity and actually get paid for their work. I am talking about none other than Mike motherfucking Stoklaza, Jay motherfucking Bauman, and the god himself, Rich Evans, otherwise known as Red Letter Media. Truth be told, our big inspiration for doing this show, once we saw it was possible, that you could actually have some success sitting around talking about these things, breaking down movies, except for us it really isn't happening. And it's really fucking tough every week to do this show and we just see middling viewers. And I'm starting to understand what they say about millennials because I'm just not strong enough to take it. Why hasn't it happened already? I don't have the fucking patience. Red Letter Media has been a big inspiration for us, and they're always a blast to watch. Breaking down weird movies, having a couple laughs, and much like us, they actually have their own movie out, which is available on Blu-Ray. And we decided to watch that today, for actually, truth be told, the second time.
Third time.
Third?
For you third, for me second.
Right. For me the third time, for him second, for you for second.
Third time, man. Where'd you watch it by yourself?
Right. We've seen the movie before, and we're going to be delving into it. It is, insert year here, 2007's, 2008's,
15.
2015.
It took like 10 years to make, I don't know.
Yes, it took about 3 years, I think.
Some point within the last 100 years, it is Space Cop.
All of us here still believe in you. That time that you blew up the drug factory with your space gun, that was really great.
That wasn't a drug factory. It was a convalescence home. I only thought it was a drug factory because it had a door.
Now, our lead here, playing Space Cop, of course, is the aforementioned Wrench Evans.
Range?
Wrench Evans. Wrench Evans.
The Wrench Evans that stole Christmas?
Yes.
Probably the second most famous carpenter after Jesus himself, I would imagine.
Harrison Ford.
Sorry, yes. The third famous most famous carpenter
Fuck him.
after Jesus, Harrison Ford, and Karen Carpenter.
I got it.
Yeah.
The group.
I got it.
Yes.
We got it.
So I'm going to toss it over to you, who were my introduction to this world. Every time I walk into the room, be watching Best
It might
of
have
the
been
Worst.
Mateo. It might have been Mateo with Half in the Bag, Prometheus.
That was my first ever introduction to the guy.
Yes.
What was that black goo?
That was first timer. But you were the one that became obsessed with Best of the Worst. I discovered the Plinkett Ghostbusters episode. And here we are.
And I'm the only one who religiously started watching Half in the Bag from the first episode to the current one. I was doing a full immersion, and
You got to.
I'm proud of it.
Yes.
Sort of. Yeah.
Putting
Probably
in
your
work.
biggest achievement.
Yes.
And we salute the guys for what they did for
Yes.
middle-aged white men thinking they could do something with their movie-obsessed knowledge.
Stop the middle-aged thing.
But before this week, it's fun to make fun of myself.
Yeah, but this one, when this one will be on, you'll be already
85.
Yes, probably.
You could be middle-aged at 1.
If you die at 2. A baby that dies at 2 is middle-aged at 1.
Is this for real? Are you serious?
Matthew?
This baby's having a midlife crisis. She's crying all day.
We are turning
Space Cop is about, it's actually a great premise. Just
Yes.
hearing it, and it has a great, digestible, easily gettable log line of cop from the future gets sent to the past, and cop from the past gets frozen and brought back into the present.
Present.
So it's pairing up the classic cop buddy duo of cop from the future with cop from the past.
Hold on 1 second. Alexa, turn on Mo.
Okay.
Something changed. I
Yes.
feel different.
professionalism.
Shuffling something changed.
Alexa, please stop.
You had to say something.
They are trying to solve a mystery of a gold thief who's actually an alien played by Jay Bauman. And they...
Played by a very sexy Jay Bauman. You know, leather jacket, short haircut,
I heard you during the film.
Yes.
It's fine.
handsome face after he lost weight.
Damn.
He didn't used to look like that. He not used to look like that. But in this one, man, might as well be James Dean. You know?
It's the beard.
It's the beard.
The jacket,
The
too.
short haircut.
Probably both.
Yeah.
But anyways, you were saying?
There's aliens who are trying to...
They wanted to revive, to find the
brain.
body of a brain.
There's a scientist who wants to kill mankind.
Yes.
And they stop it.
Yes. The end.
The end. Done, of course, in a lovingly satirical.
It's an homage.
Send-up
to,
homage.
Yes, to the
pretty much the
classic.
movies they watch on Best of the Worst.
I was going to say, I
Yes.
think, yes, they wanted to do a
Yes.
loving tip of the cap to every single piece of shit they've ever watched. Which also, I feel like we should start this off by saying there's definitely passion and craft in this, but I feel like if the guys were to watch this overlong critique, they might be like, hey, who gives a fuck, shut up, it was a joke, which just ties back into the spirit of why we like them so much, you know?
I think that they made a movie just like to make a movie, and they succeeded for most of the time.
Why didn't you tell me this?
It's clearly for being, I don't want to say the first movie because they did Gorilla Interrupted and a couple of others before that, but let's say
The first official,
the first
real swing at a...
yeah.
I think once they had an audience, too, so they knew kind of who would
Yes,
be watching this.
yes. Definitely they have a level that is way above the average for technical part, the craftsmanship of everything.
Shit ton of talented friends.
Yes,
They're
yes,
to draw
they
on.
are.
Miniatures.
They themselves are extremely talented. They have talented friends, and they manage successfully to actually converge into this one event that is the movie, where everybody is doing something. They have.
What did we do?
We did. He waved some gels in front of a light.
I remember that.
I remember that night. I was wondering why I was waving a Jell-O cup in front of the light, and I realized it was just to distract me while you guys did the real work. Then graciously slapped my name on there that we all
Thought you were
directed.
trying to soften
Because wait a minute.
You need to stop this right now. The clapperboard is broken.
The clapperboard is broken.
The clapperboard is broken. The clapperboard is broken. The clapperboard is broken. The clapperboard is broken. The clapperboard is, which is a real tragedy.
Now, I feel like the very offset of this discussion, we should say that, like I said, this is not the first time I watched it. I had a really good time with it this time, I think more so than I did last time. But I think the main question with something like this, again, that's why I say, not that they don't care about the movie, but that it's like, you have to ask yourself, does it matter? Is this even for people outside of the RLM fan base?
Right.
That's like, if we're reviewing a normal movie, we're saying, how does this appeal to the public at large? You know, hey, we're watching a Spielberg movie. Well, how does every human being respond to this? My main question here is
Tom Green movie.
I'm being creative. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have some work to do. Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausages? Daddy, would you like some sausage? Sausages, sausages.
If somebody who is not a Tom Green fan,
can they even get into Freddy?
Watches it, does he get it, or it says what the hell is going on? I remember, for instance, as a personal experience, I went to see Private Parts, I think it was the Howard Stern movie.
Howard, I was in the military. I was a captain in the Air Force. What were you?
What was I?
Yeah, what were you?
What were you again?
I was a captain.
That's what I was. I was a captain.
And what were you in?
I was in Vietnam.
Ugh. Army, Navy?
In the Army.
Did you have a division?
The 103rd.
103rd what?
I was in the 103rd. I don't know what I was in, Robin, but...
And I was in the minority because I vaguely know of him. I've seen him probably a couple of times on David Letterman or something like that, but I wasn't familiar with the whole mythology of Howard Stern, nor I knew his usual co-workers or other characters that populate his show. So I remember that in the theater, every time one of them appeared, there was an applause from the audience, and I was completely lost because I have no idea who that is. Not that I did not enjoy the movie. I did.
That was my next question, because I feel like they did a really great job of what I'm talking about. Is it's not just a Howard fan movie. You kind of tell a story of an underdog making it that I thought was pretty good on a mainstream level for how raunchy Stern was, at least back in the day.
And in this one, yes, it's clearly is mainly for the fans. I don't know if somebody outside of their...
Like my dad.
For instance, call him and ask him to watch the movie now.
Space Cop, are you even listening to me?
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Deal me in.
This is Solitaire.
Well, I say that to be like, does it even need to be graded on the scale of a spectrum outside of their fan base is the main question. And one of the main things I say about this right off the bat, because funnily enough, it was the big deterrent the first time. This time I was like, you know what, I don't mind. And then Mateo said in the brief commentary he watched, he brought it up. But still Claus's old school, a detective from the 50s voice.
This future is pretty great though, Space Cop. You know, I've been doing some research, and there's amazing things to come. Things like Commodore 64 computers with 1 megabyte of hard disk space.
Because the guys have done such a great job with the intros of Half in the Bag, the continuing skits with the Mr. Plinkett saga, they both have a really great deadpan delivery with their natural voice.
Yes.
And I remember in the brief studying of acting I did before ours, it was like, hey, if you got a natural voice, do it. If you can't, just convincingly put on another voice. Don't do that if you're inexperienced. So the first time I was really like, damn, Mike, you're hysterical. I think you didn't need that voice, and I think you could have done more of an actual, just your regular voice
deadpan,
character. However, interestingly enough, this time I didn't mind it as much. I feel like I laughed more throughout this time.
I'm stuck here in the Stone Age.
I'm stuck here too, Space Cop, but at least I'm making the best of it. My whole family's probably dead by now, and my wife too.
How do you know? Did you look her up?
Oh, God, no. If my wife is still alive, she's probably an elderly person. Ew.
Matteo, you were saying when you first got the Blu-ray, you were watching a little bit of the commentary. You said he actually said he regretted
He
doing
sort of regretted
over the top
to be a little too much, because everybody else, except maybe for the police captain, who is clearly a
tip of the hat to their god Cameron Mitchell.
Yes, exactly.
Space Cop!
Who is almost a caricature of that, as it was Cameron Mitchell, pretty much. So he kind of like thought it was
better for skit than full length.
Yes. However, I have to say that they all know very well how to stay in front of a camera. It's not just like, oh, I have my friend, put him there, and he is just like fill a space.
Well,
no, they know how to move the faces, the pauses, the gesture.
I would like to say right off the bat that I was both times very impressed.
3 times.
3 times. Who the hell knows? It's all deteriorating.
It's
it really
impossible
is.
to verify this.
It's honestly going. You don't even have to joke anymore. It's all deteriorating. But every time, let's say every time, Rich Evans, for being a non-actor, doing a show with his buddies, who's
Also
literally...
doing a voice.
The voice?
Also doing a voice.
Also doing a voice.
Yes.
For carrying the movie on his shoulders, and as he said in one episode, made reference to, never showing the eyes, and being stoic, I've been very surprised every time at how fucking effective he is.
Yes.
You do not get the sense that this is nothing but... perfect example. Even though back in the day, before I became a pretentious film wannabe geek and started studying this stuff more, I was probably like, it is pretty cool, but you watched it and were probably like, Haggard from the band MaJaMa crew.
Invention of the Future contest. First place prize, a mountain bike man of diamonds.
Yeah, and what's second place? A friendly smile and a handshake? Let's go. It's for 11-year-olds. Come on.
Let's go. I already made an invention for the future. I made that reverse microwave. Remember that shit?
Haggard has the feeling of, we got money, we wanted to make a movie, who gives a shit? I'm
Yes.
in the lead, it doesn't matter. With Rich Evans, I'm like, it could have just been like, hey, Rich Evans is the funny one, Stoklozo is goofing on him, we like putting him in the punchline spot, he's going to be the lead, ha ha ha. He really is pretty damn effective. He's pretty damn effective. He knows how to do the cop voice in a way that is the opposite of the Stoklozo voice, where it's like...
Can I go now, Chief? It's possible there's a crime happening in a refrigerator that I should go investigate.
He's got control. He's got a presence. He can communicate with having a fucking helmet or shades on most of it.
He knows how to control his body. He does pratfalls. He knows how to move, how to orient himself to the camera, to maximize whatever he is asked to do. And I remember a long time ago hearing Eric Idle. He was saying the agony and ecstasy of working on stage with John Cleese is that John Cleese never makes a movement that is not calculated or premeditated. He knows head to toe what he's gonna do, how he's gonna do it. And he say, oftentimes we Python would stop just take a look at him, because we were mesmerized by that control, that precision, and
that's probably actually what I feel like would be my biggest hurdle with acting, again, with a minuscule amount of experience. But I feel like the control is really what I'm in breathtaking awe of, and I feel like my strength lies in just the turn it up to 11 and go,
yes.
go, go.
Yes.
The idea of the control of the body, of the voice, of the knowing how to move the camera, it damn near gives me anxiety. I was watching entire conversation unto itself, and I'm just going to do the reference here, Nathan Fielder's The Rehearsal. And one of the things he's working with actors, and it's just a quick clip of them doing, and maybe you've seen it do, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 with the foot, 1, 2 with the foot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1.
Wow, all right.
And just literally watching that gave me anxiety, because I understand how much any skill I have is in the just unleashing as opposed to that control. So I have a lot of respect for the craft of acting, because it's simply hard to imagine that control. I just go fly off the handle, and that's where the comedy is.
You guys, I'm so sorry about this.
So yes, I have to say right off the bat, I'm very impressed that Rich Evans, it is not a joke movie, it is not a joke role. I mean,
Rich Evans is the heart of RLM as well. So you kind of have that likability to your lead character.
I'll never get used to that.
Never thought about it that way. The race stands.
Yeah. Plus, if you think about it, he does the most skits, jokes. If they're narrating a movie, video they watch, he'll be the one in it. He's always kind of pulled to do the acting.
Well, you know what? He's Dick the birthday boy.
Yes, but that's usually he is the one who apparently gets the short end of the stick, or every. But
it's all piled on top of Rich's shoulders.
It's fantastically how game he is, and
yes, I'm gonna say there's zero vanity. Like let's
all of
run
them.
and be the butt of the joke.
All of them.
And what, you know what?
Matt,
allow me, as long as we're doing this, allow me to suck the RLM dick for a second. It's something I really appreciate. Goddamn near every, and I mean every, successful YouTube show I see, including Steve-O, who I love, who has turned his life around and gotten clean and sober from the madness and really seems like a sweetheart of a guy, but literally every successful YouTube show I see. All right, guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to stop now for a quick break from our sponsor. This is a new Super Pro creatine that we do. What you're going to do is you're going to have 2 scoops in this in the morning. That's how I get my exercise in there. Even this fucking show my good buddy Tim Warner, the comedian, was on, Kill Tony, where it's just like they bring open micers up there and kind of laugh at them doing their stand-up. They still have a friggin' pause for a sponsor. Red Leather Media is in the plus million subscribers. They fucking eat off this. They have a Patreon. Not a single fucking pause for a sponsor. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. Literally, I've never seen anyone else, any other movie review channel, any other popular YouTube channel, any other celebrity channel, you always pause for a long ass
Hey parents, is your kid a know-it-all? Do they question every rule you set? Do they cry during beatings? Wish you could stunt their learning capabilities without costly lobotomies and dangerous pills? Well, now you can. With the Skull Swirl. Just 5 minutes a day will have your child saying voyou-goo-goo. Forget talking back. They won't even be able to form words. Scramble their brains the fun way. With the Skull Swirl.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Oh, there's your proof, Johnny Broken Nose. What are you doing with all this gold? Who are you selling it to? What's your end game? Where are you washing your money?
What in the fuck are you doing? You can't hit a suspect.
What do you mean I can't hit a suspect? Space Cop, he says I can't hit a suspect.
Of course you can. I just saw you do it.
And also they are very savvy, both in front and behind the camera, which helps immensely because they are just like a 3-man crew, pretty much, mostly. Then yes, they have friends and help, but even their friends are extremely talented and good. So
what is it, Colin and Jay from Canada? I'm sorry, Colin and
Jim.
Colin and Jim from Canada. They're film editors or VFX guys.
Special effects, mostly Colin computer graphic, and Jim is more building miniatures and stuff, mostly.
And of course, Mike Stoklaza is an absolute dead ringer for Sam Eagle from The Muppet Show.
I am a big fan of the Ghost Adventures television show. I like paranormal programming. I like ghost hunting programming. And Ghost Adventures on Halloween did a live ghost hunt.
Could never unsee that. Look it up. There's a meme somewhere on our old Instagram page Matthew made. But yeah, so...
Do you mind if I have some of this candy?
Yes.
Whatever, I'm a cop. Who gives a fuck?
We have a surprisingly good lead in Rich, and I found myself, again, we are tuned to the fan base, but I found myself a nice amount of lulls with this. Sometimes with
that's what I'm interested, like we were talking about before, if you took someone who would be a fan of this genre, however you want to define it, as a homage to, or an actual just enjoy watching shitty movies, how would they feel about the world they've created? Do you have to already know them to kind of get into it, or can you just jump into it and kind of...
I think that the average person who does not know of Red Letter Media, they just say stumbles across this movie, probably realizes that there is something more outside of this word. You say, this is because both Rich Evans and Mike Stoklaza have such a distinct acting character.
I've got a plan.
Let's roll.
Excuse us, officers.
Coming through. It's an emergency.
That you say, okay, it would be a weird choice if they had done only this movie and that's what they come up with. So you say, probably let me see exactly what is going on, who are these people and what they've been doing. For instance,
it's nice that it almost exists as an extension of Red Letter Media. Or
right, yes.
The show.
It's
whatever you wanna call
like,
it.
I remember, and once again, personal experience, but...
were we there?
I'm sorry?
Were we there?
No. I was by myself.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I got the laser disc of Dana Carvey's Opportunity Knocks.
I think I remember that briefly from the video store shows. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Surprise, surprise, at a certain point, they throwing him doing George W. Bush. No, George Bush.
Alrighty.
Paper towel, Mr. President?
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture, you know? What do you say we try that blower thing over there?
It's right over here, Mr. President.
But at the time, I had no idea about it because I saw it in Italy. I wasn't here yet, and so I didn't know about his long...
Did you know who George Bush was? Did they have American politics?
Vaguely, yes. Yeah. The boy was the king of Poland, I think, at the time. Yeah. So, again, you say that's an odd choice to have a character doing that because I didn't know that. Eventually, when I found out, I said, "Oh, I get it. What they did because they wanted to say is Robin Williams in Good Morning Vietnam, where half of the movie is him being Robin Williams in front of the microphone at the radio, half of him is him stretching his legs into a drama and into acting. And it's just like that thing that the audience say, you still have the old Robin Williams, but see, he can do other things.
It's so interesting when you develop a shtick, or I suppose anyone who's even
speak for yourself,
middlingly trying to do something has a shtick, and then it's like, okay, what vehicle does this driver fit into? What is going to be a good fit so that, in
where does
theory,
this shtick fit?
It makes sense. And can we create some sort of if it doesn't work, can we create some sort of a shtick shift?
That's good.
Yeah. I thought you did.
But that fascinates me because we've seen, for instance, my mind jumps to Chris Kattan's Corky Romano.
Come on, give me the coke. Give me the cocaine. Come on, come on, come on. Let go, let go.
Chris Kattan's Corky Romano, which actually we should probably do on the show. I haven't seen it in years. But that was Chris Kattan's leading man vehicle, and then it never happened again.
Nope.
And it's not I think, funnily enough, I think that movie is the right attempt to put Chris's shtick into a vehicle. It's just didn't translate or was grating. It's also interesting because he did Roxbury with Will, and then he did Corky Romano, and then Will went on to do 6 million American comedies, some crap, some beloved, but just a machine.
It's very weird, yeah, because if you think about it, you also have, well, John Belushi, a career cut short, Dan Aykroyd, very prolific, Eddie Murphy, very prolific, Joe Piscopo,
Dead Heat.
Okay, now I'm gonna puke.
The worst Will Ferrell comedies, the also rans, the bottom of the barrels, could probably be as grating as a Corky Romano was seen, and yet it's always interesting to me that Will seems to be one of those guys where it's like, you know what, Will? Hey, Chris, we didn't like that one. You're kind of done. Will, you got infinite chances, buddy. That one sucked. Bring it on back. That one sucked too. Try again. That one was crappy. We'll keep getting it. Adam Sandler. Again, although apparently, again, oh God, they blocked Uncut Gems, or I had my Sandler argument ready, but like, infinite chances if it's a crappy movie, do another one, or maybe it's just eaten up, but it's, the shtick machine is fascinating, how it works, what's the right vehicle, who gets different chances. It literally feels like we would give Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler infinite chances.
People love Adam Sandler.
That's very true, and I hear he's a very nice guy.
And they find his movies funny. You might think they're shit.
No. Fuck, man. I don't want this to turn into Adam discussion, but
I don't want it to turn any discussion.
So Space Cop.
So Space Cop.
Space Cop.
We have...
Time's up.
We have a pretty hilarious extended cameo from Patton Oswalt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Space Cop, your police work is fast, loose, and it's out of control. And for that, we're giving you a promotion. I'm sorry. I thought it would be way more. It's a holographic balloon. Does it deflate in real time? Why did we program the?
And a very brief cameo by Lenny Kabaczynski.
Yeah.
Who's the stunt double for Rich Evans when he fights Jay Bauman.
Oh, yes.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Space Cop, it's me, Cooper.
Cooper, what do you want? I'm trying to sleep in the back of my squad car surrounded by filth.
Jesus Christ, Space Cop, I can smell the booze through the phone. Listen, I know what the aliens are up to, and it's no good. We've got to act fast.
The who?
The aliens involved in the case.
I will say that it did a pretty good job of carrying me throughout, although when we get to the end, the jokes keep coming, but it's more of the plot's supposed to be heightening up, and that was a little bit like, okay, you know, we're in it. At a certain point, it is like it's another room in their studio made to look like a lab. It's another room in their studio made to look like a spaceship. It's another room in their studio made to look like a cop's office. It does get to it.
I think it
gets a little repetitive
at this low budget level that we are all at.
Yes.
You want to have your audience more invested in the story, so you try to amp it up as what a normal plot of a film would be doing at this point in the film, but it's hard to necessarily draw an audience in for that element as opposed to just stupid deadpan comedy.
Why didn't I think of that?
So I think it's also a little long in running length, same issue we have with House Shark, where like you can cut easily 10 minutes,
20.
Maybe 20,
Probably.
and have it just a little bit more compact.
Make yourself scarce.
I think it's with House Shark it was frustrating because House Shark was one of the first movies where I was like, oh my god, it's one of these shark movies that actually has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
It actually has a distinct developed sense of humor, and then I was fucking with it, and then it's just like, oof, dude, like, again, I get it. You're at this level and you say, I don't give a fuck, I'm going to do what I want, you know, salute to that, but I've just, kind of the same thing here. You get to that end point where you've been with it for a while, and the movie in theory is supposed to be ramping up. So that, I did find a little bit of like, okay, you know, okay, the plot, the aliens doing this and that. The guys do keep sticking in jokes to their credit.
And those beats and plot points are there.
Yeah.
What in the hell is going on?
Well, Mike Stoklasa is known for being a structure guy. So the actual bit by bit of the movie actually are there, and they hit the right note in terms of the storyline, which is what you would expect from a movie.
Yes.
And it's much more coherent than a lot of other movies. Sometimes other big budget movie, because I think that this one is about $5,000. It was
really.
I think so.
Oh, really?
I think I heard that.
Must have been calling favors because I feel like that floating cop car is a pretty damn decent effect.
And as
it's not a real floating cop car. Just that.
Right, it's not a bad effect for what we're talking about.
And I, from what I understand, it was shot in a very extended period of time. It's not just like us. We did the.
Good luck, brothers!
In case they forgot.
It's the whole purpose of this show.
Yes.
Advertise our movie. Please watch Bad CJ Sharks. Transparency.
21 days plus 1 day of pickups here for the police station. They, as far as I understand, they were just...
I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought they were here about to say something.
Remember when we were having lunch with Charles, and he was like, so how many days did you guys shoot your movie in? We were like, 21. And he was like, whoa, 21? And I was like, yeah, it's crazy, right? I was like, that's horrible. I would have done that in 4.
That was Charles' band. So they had to just shoot bits and pieces here and there whenever they can. And as I understand, I think I remember one day they were saying that they started shooting it and they had to interrupt it for an extended period of time because Rich Evans got a terrible cat allergy or something like that. I mean, it fell apart completely the first time that they tried.
Get out of my face!
Well, this is my point, is that I would never say the guys didn't care, but you guys know what I mean.
You keep saying what you would never say, but what would you say?
Also, Goonies never say die.
Yeah.
Don't say that! Never say that! Goonies never say die!
Do you guys understand what I mean? Where it's like, I feel like to a degree,
not even a titter,
there's a certain level of discussing this as a movie where it's like, yes, we were passionate, we wanted to try to make the best product, but we're RLM, and it's also like, shut the fuck up and stop delving too much into it. You know what I mean? Like, how much of a movie and how much of just, we want to do a great offshoot, this is a dream of ours, we want to do it for the fans.
I'm sorry, say that whole thing over again?
You know, I feel like, how much of an actual movie did they want to make, and how much is an extension of the spirit of the show, where it's like, we're independent pirates of internet media, we do what we want, and you know what I mean?
No, they wanted to make a movie.
I think they wanted to make a movie, and actually they did.
They're people just like us. They get groceries.
Yeah.
You, of all people, should know that. They buy oranges, sometimes by the bag.
No. I'm not saying they don't care. I'm just saying that, like, the spirit of the show is very devil may care. So
But behind that.
No, of course. Look, this production and this wonderful man has showed me how much effort it takes to keep this little internet show going, so that 3 fucking people can watch it.
Your voice, man. You can't yell anymore.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stab you in the throat with a pen.
Plus, you have a certain age now, and
yeah, it's unbecoming of a woman your age.
Let's talk about your hard-on for Jay Bauman.
Yeah, man. What the hell?
A huge boner.
How come I bring up hot guys on the show more than you ever do? Why don't you tell the audience where you want to fuck, man?
What?
What guy do you think is hot in Hollywood? Tom Hardy.
He had the whole discussion about Chad Malcolm-Murray over.
Yeah, but I forced him into it.
That was forced.
I forced him into it.
Oh, I see.
Why? How come you will never say?
Maybe I don't want to express my thoughts or feelings or emotions to other people.
How come you never say, man, this guy is fucking hot. I would like to get some syrup and just spread it on his abs.
Lower your voice.
I have the power.
Nothing can stop that.
But yeah, I feel like there was, if you guys look at the older episodes, Bauman got a far less stylish haircut that kind of poofs out with a spike. His face looks puffy. The beard is weird. And
Jesus Christ, man.
No, I'm saying he had a great...
really hung up on people's appearance.
He had a fucking great makeup. It's true.
Never tell me how you describe me. Please. Never. Even if I beg you, never.
On his deathbed. All right, let me have it. But I just feel like as much of a makeover as you see from the older episodes here, because he's supposed to be playing like a cool character with the leather jacket, he's got a shorter haircut than usual, the beard's trimmed up. Obviously, I'm playing into it comedically as I always do, but
Jay's a good-looking guy.
He looks really good on screen.
Yeah.
Like,
really. Calm.
Like,
calm down.
What about Tom Hardy?
What about Tom Hardy? Of course Tom Hardy's attractive.
To you?
Yes, to me, Tom Hardy's attractive.
What would you do?
Describe
it in detail.
Because this is an homage to the best of the worst slop, that's what I'm kind of trying to get at, is to what degree it's emulating those movies where it's supposed to be a low-grade joke throughout, as opposed to, like...
You want a number?
We aspired to... You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that there wasn't passion and craft and a want to make it, but I'm saying because it's an homage to them, because of their spirit of irreverence and of the way the channel is, I wonder how much it was just like, dude, shut the fuck up, don't take it so seriously. It's kind of like a one-note thing.
One thing that I have admired is that Mike wrote the movie, and he made it within their means. There is nothing that you say, oh, that's... I mean, granted, yes, if you have $1 million more, you can do the special effects that you want, but there is not a scene in the movie that you say, oh, that's really something that they shouldn't have done this. I mean, they even did, which it was serviceable and it worked fine,
I'm gonna get you for everything you're gonna do someday. Smile, you son of a bitch.
Oftentimes you see in these low budget movies that it's not even to say they bite more they can chew, but they try to do something that it's unrealizable for them, for whatever they have, and so they become always, really?
Well, plus with this, the effects are supposed to look...
Yes, they're supposed to be, to look, yes, exactly. But at the same time, nothing is so over the top to say, oh, I see what they were thinking about. Whereas the movies that they are talking about in the show, oftentimes they have these things that you say, oh, there is a... it's just like... I don't remember the title of the movie, but there is a David Dakota movie where supposedly, forgive me, David.
Washing apostrophe balls.
Get David on the show.
Yes.
You better be careful what you wish for.
Let me sidle on up next to you, cowboy.
There is an audition in Hollywood for a new member of a band that is kind of like Take That or something like that. Sorry?
I bet it's a new member.
Yes. But there are 50 people at best in the audience. When you think, if you were said to say, hey, One Direction is having an open audition for new members and One Direction will be there, you couldn't go around Hollywood.
Yeah, I don't.
So I like that they kept within their means, and the story is it's to a degree, it's a big story about the attempt of destroying the Earth, but it's very small and personal of a space cop, the frozen cop, and mostly Jay in whatever he's trying to steal gold.
I love gold.
So tell me, how has your stay been in Milwaukee?
Well, I tell you, my hotel, the historic Vista Hotel, well, it's just beautiful. And my view of the city from the 18th floor, room number 1805, well, it's just magnificent.
Well, congratulations on your success. The album, which is out now, is called Leaving My Hotel Room Unlocked.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Even though I'm just a brain in a jar, I can do anything. Aren't you going to read me my rights, officer?
Yeah, you have the right to remain a brain in a jar.
Die, fatso!
We should give a nod to what I feel like Matthew would adore and seems Krang-esque. And to me, it represents the best part of the spirit of the movie, the brain in the jar.
Anytime there's a brain in the jar.
Moving arms.
With tentacle arms.
It's very, very cool, very throwback.
Brain in a jar, it reminds me, not exactly of the brain that wouldn't die, because it actually is a head of a woman, but there is a brain in a jar in Blood Diner.
Get out that guest book and find that ugly bitch that was in front of my window today. You two jerkos, get your thumbs out of your asses and get a move on. We still have many ingredients to gather to complete the blood buffet. Hello. Hello. May I speak to Sidney Sanders, please? Oh, I see. This is quite urgent. Would you tell me where I might locate her?
And if memory serves, it also have eyes attached.
Inside the diner?
In the back of the diner, because it's a very, very weird, a very twisted movie, very funny. But yes, the brain in the jar Even when Mythbusters did the impact of a slap on your brain, they put a Jello brain in a jar that was just like slapped left and right.
That sounds awesome.
Yes, it does.
The original myth is that having an empty bottle broken over your head is worse for you than having a full bottle broken over your head. Well, from our testing, from the standpoint of your brains, it's not true. You'll get a much worse concussion from a full bottle than an empty one. And also from our testing, on bones, the full bottle is also worse. It's much more likely to cause a skull fracture than an empty bottle.
Well, I think, to your point, as where Asylum always fucks up by trying to do these giant Earth-ending threats with aliens or transmorphers or whatever else, you could have swung as high as you wanted with Space Cop, and because it's supposed to be a cheesy homage to a corny monster movie drama thing, you could have done whatever you wanted and still been able to pull it off, because like, okay, we're still in this universe where it can look cheesy, it can look corny, it can look
just
stupid.
could have used a little
we're
less
overacting.
offices.
Yeah,
it starts to get a little bit, like I said, office room after office room after a while.
I could have used more of him, of Rich and Mike together.
Space Cop, who the hell was that? Or rather, what the hell was that?
An alien.
An alien? You mean like War of the Worlds or a Martian?
No, Mars is a dead planet with almost no atmosphere. That thing was from Proxima Centauri. Aliens from there are mostly assholes.
Jesus. Space Cop, are you saying that aliens are real? Why didn't you tell me this?
You never asked.
Yeah, it gets slightly claustrophobic, but then again, it's also the nature of
our lives today.
Yes, of doing a movie where we can. I mean, you have to do the best with what you have, and so you may find a bar that allows you to shoot there, or you may not. You may rent a place, or so you have to say, okay, we can't do that scene here. I mean, we had the whole scene, not storyboarded, but almost, by the train cars in Burbank, and then we completely scrapped it and we did the scene by the wall.
Movies are so hard.
Yes.
I don't think the general public realizes this. One time I said that to Dad, and he was like, "Of course I did. What you didn't?" But I feel like, for instance, I don't think if either of you have seen it yet. And I understand we can't stop criticism. It would be sociopathic to say so. I understand. But
stop talking.
The opening of...
Just stop.
Stop talking. The opening of Babylon, which was released last year, which I love. But it split the critics. It took it in the ass financially. But the opening party sequence at a mansion in 1920s Hollywood is kind of mind-blowing. And then some reviews are just like, yeah, you know, this scene isn't as transgressive as he thought it was. Or like, I understand you can't ask every human being to respect the work and not say something. And yet sometimes when I see a scene like that moves through the crowd and has a million moving parts, it almost seems like my idealistic brain is like, shouldn't we just have a law to say, can you all just shut the fuck up and give a salute? Do you have any fucking idea how hard this is? And then you're going to come up here, Mr. fucking stick up your ass movie critic, like, well, I honestly think that the opening scene wasn't as transgressive as he thought. I mean, it's not. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. What do? You type at a fucking computer for the fucking LA Times. You have no idea what it's like to make a fucking movie.
What we're doing right now. Shut the fuck up.
Like, you have no idea how hard it is. And if they do, like, shut the fuck up. I understand we can't not critique movies, but it's like the blood, sweat, and tears of just people breaking their back just for you to be like, well, honestly, I feel like it's lacking.
Well,
it's like,
making
kill
movies
yourself.
not like having a kid.
Kill yourself. Kill yourself.
I'm down, man. I've been asking for years.
I understand to be sociopathic to say don't do that, but sometimes it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You came in with a notepad to a fucking theater and talk about someone's 7 months of their life they broke their fucking back over. Like, well, not honestly that impressive.
You can't rewrite in the dark. It's 2027.
Oh, gosh, return to fucking...
Have you ever seen the opening of Wings? The only silent movie which ever to win the Oscar for Best Picture.
Wasn't Steven Weber in that? You get it.
Yes.
No, I haven't.
And it's pretty impressive, considering that it was 1929. Things like Steadicams didn't exist or something, and it's
Wings is a movie from 1929.
Yes.
What
It's
about
a
that
s-
Scorsese
it's a
shot?
silent movie.
Comes to the neon era.
Oh yeah, New York. Yes. It's. I think that is also the first. I think it's 29. It's around that 28 or 29. I think it's also the first product placement document of product placement in a movie. There's a Hershey bar.
I don't think I can watch real film anymore.
No?
No.
Oh, that's actually a point. That's actually a point I wanted to bring out. I feel like the vibe would have been elevated greatly, even though I understand it was a massive other undertaking. But let's just be idealistic for a second. Picture this exact movie as it is, but shot on film.
Oh, well, yeah.
Would have been with the look of it. Because kind of like you said, when we watched Werewolf at Night, which we love and you enjoyed too, but you're like, oh, well, that style they're going for, that would have been just skyrocketed being shot on actual film. And I understand the logistics of
Or
both
shot
them
in
and
black and
RLM.
white.
But I think if this movie had been shot on film, that it would have ratcheted what they're doing up 16,000 levels. And it would have been true best to the worst. And yes, I understand. I'm doing what I just said. But I think that that would have really been a thing to behold, this exact movie on grainy-ass film.
You can't smoke here. What? Where the hell can I smoke? Geez, some future this is, Space Cop. A man can't even smoke in an office building. And Pluto isn't even a planet anymore.
We now return to
MaJaMa.
Sorry.
I'm confiscating these. They're eminent evidence.
It's okay. We have more.
What I clearly noticed, I'm winking at the audience. No, I'm winking
Audience?
as wink. Well, I'm winking at those two people who have, for mistake, they fell asleep in front of the
You're
computer.
winking, you're winking at my mom and Paulo.
In autoplay and...
Probably winking at ourselves.
Yeah, possibly.
Hi, Matthew and Jason, watching this on their day off.
When they leave the corporate office of Mr. On, that Space Cop slams the door and the thermostat falls down. Apparently there was an accident. It wasn't supposed to happen.
Very nice. Because it fits completely with the style of humor they went
And it's the exact same thing that happened in RoboCop.
He's in the steel mill. Let's go.
All right, cut the horse shit. We're moving out.
Come on, Emil. Let's go.
All right, cut the horse shit.
Let's go.
All right, cut the horse shit.
They used it?
Yeah, it's in the movie.
Is it because RoboCop slams the door?
No. I think it's actually
A woman?
No, yeah, Kurtwood.
Kurtwood Smith.
That's him.
What?
That's him. I think it's him.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And it's
he's amazing.
And
I
it's
know- I
funny
know who he
because
is.
RoboCop, Space Cop, two accidents like this. Coincidence? Yes.
We
He's in the
have
steel
more.
mill. Let's go.
All right, cut the horse shit.
You know, I sent a copy of Bad CGI Sharks to Stoklaza, but he ain't got back to me yet.
Surprise!
Mike, ball's in your court.
This is coming off as really desperate, guys.
But the ball might be in his court. The movie probably is already out of the,
The movie-
window. It's just
the
like,
ball's in my court. Movie's in the trash.
What's up?
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
Oh my goodness. You're such a ham, Space Cop. I'm telling you.
I definitely enjoyed it, and I think that they actually went the distance. They with sets, and they could have done a skit in the style that I'm about to mention, but not a movie. But they could have done something like the Amazing Bulk.
You're crazy, you know that? You're sick! And now I shall eliminate you. You bastard!
Entirely in green screen.
Yeah.
And instead, no, they went the trouble of building sets and doing locations and everything. So that is it shows that there is a
and look at the work they put into the sets for their
there's a passion. Nothing is improvised and they say okay, let's put these things here, and I'm genuinely impressed by. These are the movies that make me happy. That shows that they show that there is still people who really want to make movies, even if they don't have the studio money or the studio structures and everything, but still they manage to make a movie that is enjoyable, that has a solid beginning, a solid middle, and a solid end.
And a brain in the jar with tentacle arms.
And a brain in a jar with tentacle arms, which is any movie should be improved by that.
Yeah.
Think of Casablanca.
So it's missing.
Hey, baby. Blush, blush.
I could probably watch it then.
Actually, make it 50,000 pesos.
My favorite joke is the baby being boiled, and also the door falling down, the mom and
Yes.
the bitch just walking on top of it.
Everybody is now safe.
There are more hits than misses, and I like also those tiny little things that the news correspondent, her name is Grabowski. Which
Yes,
is,
what? Oh,
is
shit.
the name of the sitcom, of the 5-second sitcom that Mike did before. I think that it was before even RLM in general.
There's good times and there's bad times, but mostly bad. The Grabowskis.
Honey, who are all these people in this photo album?
Your family.
Were they basically just any of us until the Phantom Menace review hit big, and that's why they started garnering an actual...
I think that was before the show, right?
Yes, I think so.
And then I think that since they got such a big audience from that, they really had so many followers that they never needed to worry about, like you were saying, any sort of sponsorship, because they had such a huge loyal fan base from that review that just blew the fuck up.
I think even Roger Ebert mentioned it.
Yeah.
What? This is one of those torture success stories where it really shouldn't exist because it makes us all think that we can all do an internet show with our friends and actually pay the bills exclusively and still have a fuck you attitude and not have any court. It's like, it's too big of a dream with RLM.
Oh.
Like, it's too big of a success story. It's like, holy crap, you're 3 dudes from Milwaukee, your internet show actually takes off, you pay the bills with it, you get to do it full time, you don't have any sponsorship, you make any type of joke you want, you have a fuck you attitude. It's just, it's too big. Certain success stories shouldn't happen. They torture us.
And deservedly so. It's not just like some YouTuber or influencer who has a million of viewers because they say, oh, eat this thing or something, or DJ Khaled who says his name pretty much and that's it. And
He's got big titties though.
He does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it attracts all the kids to his videos.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a Khaled fan. I'll technically makes beats, and just the branding is the irritating part.
But they are genuinely, you see, there are people who put the effort of doing something. It could have been just like them on a couch, and instead
Could have been that little fucker that opens toys and is a billionaire.
Yeah, or people who play video games, and they comment
PewDiePie,
that
Mr. Beast, they're all
Probably.
boring. Do you understand? I don't care if I sound like a hater.
they make it fun, but they talk properly in terms of what they're doing, and so it's nice to see a true success story, if you will, from the point of view of somebody who actually say, hey, let's do this and see what happens.
From American white men. Finally.
Finally.
Something we can call our own.
Yes.
Score one for American men.
An. That's a chink name, isn't it?
It's Korean, yes.
On that note,
let's vote.
Let's vote.
That should be the line.
On that note, let's vote. You can add like a little spling.
I don't know about all
Maybe
that
not,
fanfare, but
yeah. Try.
Spling.
No, the whole thing.
Oh, on that note, spling, let's vote.
Don't do spling. I'll put it.
Oh, okay.
How would he know to do spling?
Spling?
On that note,
spling.
Let's vote.
Maybe not.
Maybe it's just be spoken.
Yes. But anyways, on that note,
let's vote.
Who starts?
I'll start. No. I'll start.
Okay.
I don't want to start.
Okay, I'll start.
I feel weird.
And I'll start with a controversial thing.
You're not going to use paper?
Yes. I'm throwing the clapperboard. No. One.
Wow.
Damn.
Because exactly because what I said. I am enjoying that truly independent people managed to make a movie from the beginning to the end, and they do it successfully. So I'm happy. Yay for the little person.
Is that all you have to say, you piece of shit?
And if I may, I feel like once I realized how into it Mateo was getting and watching all the episodes, I feel like he really appreciated that beyond the lowbrow, vulgar comedy, they actually give real critiques of people who give a shit about and know about movies.
They should know what they're talking about.
I felt like that was always very appealing to you.
Yes.
Well, this is an interesting one, Matthew. I also feel a little.
It's fighting being an RLM fan and trying to rate the movie outside of that spectrum.
Right.
Right.
And I
while being on the autism spectrum.
I've done it also because I love the movies that they're kind of like homage or make a parody of, and I think that for most of the time they actually nailed it. The alien invasion or the whatever thing, schlocky things, and they did a very genuine, passionate homage to that.
I am a little confused about this vote, but I think...
At least you're not confused about your sexuality.
Because that J. Bauman, eh?
Oh, man.
Eh?
Let me get the scent of that leather jacket all over my face stubble while you're grinding your bird chest against me.
Ew, man, stop.
You know, I'm really more of a gay dude than you are, man. All right, so we got...
Finally, he admits it.
We got 1, 2 and a half. I really enjoyed myself this time. I think more than the other times. I do think, like I said, trying to be fair and not just be an RLM fanboy, that by the end there was a lot of those claustrophobic office settings, and it was
just I don't go to
a little more of a struggle to do this. So you guys make me feel very insecure sometimes when I talk a lot. So I'm gonna do 2. I'm gonna do 2.5.
All your life.
I'm gonna do 2.5.
You make me feel insecure about not being gay enough.
You should, man. You're really fucking stellar. People
You
don't
should
even
tell
know
us
you're gay.
which actor you like in order of fuckability.
People have their mind blown that you're gay, because you're just. I mean, people probably have their mind blown you're fucking human. You don't even speak. All right, 2.5 for Jason because of that. Because I won't say anything else. You guys are
People are blown away that I'm sort of straight-ish. I don't know what I am.
I thought you were Italian.
I was. I took an oath.
Oh, I forgot.
People get weirded out when you don't want to fucking get involved with other people romantically. Who gives a fucking shit, man? It's awful.
Why the fuck are you giving me such a hard time about it? I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3.
Wow. What an asshole. What a fucking dickwad.
it was great. There's a lot of hilarious moments throughout.
You look like an ice cream truck driver that ate yourself out of business.
I think it would work as a vaudeville bit.
What in the hell is going on?
I'll tell you what's going on. You just interfered with the police situation, investigation, whatever.
Are you trying to tell me that you're a cop? You look more like the mailman or an ice cream truck driver who ate himself out of business.
You're damn right I'm a cop.
You see them on stage as opposed to an actual character in the world.
MaJaMa. Fuck yeah. MaJaMa.
Well, everyone, we've given you a glimpse into one of our favorite internet people that inspired us. Maybe you should go watch them instead of us.
Jesus, they already are. No.
They're already doing. Yeah, exactly.
But thanks for sticking around with us. If you are here with us, leave that comment. We're living and dying by the algorithm. I always forget that in the beginning because, again, we don't like the schleppy business apps. But guys, thank you for joining us for another jam here on the couch amongst the paper. And we'll be back next week with another all-new episode as we do every week. And, you know...
Unless we commit collective suicide.
Unless we commit suicide. And one day maybe we'll be as great a man as... Mike motherfucking Stoklowski.
Impossible. It's offensive to even suggest such an idea.
That's unattainable.
And Matthew, our closing line to take us out on.
The classic one?
Pass?
Classic Matthew. Coming soon on a t-shirt in our store that doesn't exist.
MaJaMa.
To be or not to be, that is the question. There you are.
Oh, after 17 years. We're rich, Wyatt. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, we did it, man. We did it. We did it.
That I cannot do. I'll give you anything you ask. We've known each other many years, but this is the first time you ever came to me, the council of the house.
Red, you go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, that's cold.